high school, I was under 5 foot tall. And so in middle school, I was really short. I was really short. I was really little. I had no concept of self-worth. I was completely embarrassed. Like I would look at myself and the way I dressed, the way I looked, In elementary school, I don't think it ever occurred to me, to look at myself like that. And then when you're called all these names and then people can manhandle you and you've never stood up for yourself and you don't have a dad to put his arm around you and say, hey man, punch that guy back in the face, stand up for yourself, do something. I never did any of it. So, I could say like I was an easy target, but I was the easiest target. I was tiny, I was little, I was the only one of my kind. I took it, and so this is just what happened, for about 4 or 5 years, from about 10 or 11 to about 15 years old is what happened.
And how did that shape you in your life? What did it change?
Yeah, I would say it forged me into the evolutionary hunter that I am today. Right. You know what? I'm so glad that you asked that, because people, when I tell it, it's like, oh, this is a sad story. Right. I couldn't be more grateful for those years. This was my first rite of passage. I would say most people never actually have a legitimate rite of passage in their life. So this was the hardest thing that I'd ever been through at that time in my life. And for a long time, I was almost embarrassed to tell my kids about it. I was embarrassed to tell my kids about that. And then I realized, like, this is what gave me the strength. This is what gave me my first rite of passage, my first true struggle that I overcame, that I saw. I was able to claw my way out of that myself. Right? And then when you start to figure out those things on your own, right, this is what forges your character. Yeah, so I couldn't be more grateful. What kind of value did I get out of that? Determination, resilience, robustness. When I saw that I got myself out of it, like extreme ownership, real leadership, I figured out that I could actually control and create the life that I actually want to live in. And it made me work out harder. And then one day I actually figured out what real strength is.